Hello guys, Anastasia here and welcome to eFile 101 webinar. Are you excited? I am so pumped because we've been working on this webinar for a while and I'm so glad to hear you all today. Now, I can already see that we have people from all over the world, so it doesn't matter where you're watching from, whether it's nailsproacademy.com or from YouTube, it's fine. Now, I prepared something cool for you, and today we will have the special hashtag for our webinar, which is pretty simple. It's just hashtag eFile101. So if you would like to share some stories in any social media or post, please do not forget to use this hashtag and tag us, Nails Pro Academy, or just me, Nailco. And you can see me, but I cannot see you guys. So where are you watching from? Are you drinking coffee, water, maybe some other drinks? Do you have a company, maybe your pets, your family, or are you just on your own? I would love to see that. So please post some stories. I will definitely go through all of them when we're done. All right, so I can see Texas, England, Tucson, Arizona, Greece. Wow, we have people from all over the world watching. That's pretty exciting. And yeah, I just asked this question. Where are you watching from? California, Spain. That's super awesome, guys. Thank you so much for coming here today. London, Canada, Austin. Howdy. All right, so I'm Anastasia Milton. I know that some of you are here for the first time, so let's get to know each other. I'm a nail technician with 16 years of experience and 13 as an educator. And teaching people is probably my favorite part about it because I did so many different things, like worked on the fashion shows, I did competitions, but sharing your knowledge and skills with others is just so inspiring. Last week, no, I think 2 weeks ago already, I went to a live event here in Russia. It's called Nail Meetup. And there was one woman who came to me and she said that she was working as an accountant. She wasn't happy in her job. Um, and she was watching my channel for like over a year already. So she started doing something on her nails, just little by little. And now she's working full time as a nail technician. She's happy, she's making more money. And guys, that's super, exciting. So after hearing stories like that, I'm like, I probably chose, the right vocation. So I'm super happy to help you as well. I had over 100,000 students, and that's possible just because we started teaching online. That's super cool, right? Especially today with all this situation in the world going on. I mean, that's so cool that we can gather together here in one place. So if you're first time here on the webinar, here are the very simple rules, nothing too hard. Please turn off your distractions. I already did. My phone is on the airplane mode because I don't want to be distracted during the webinar. I'm going to share so much information within this about 1 hour and a half. Be active, ask questions, interact with each other. By the way, that's what we have all the time in our chat, and that's super awesome because, like I said, today there's not that many opportunities to interact with each other. So when we have so many people in one place sharing one passion, that's super cool. Oh wow, we have over 200 people online. And please, no spam or advertising. So this is what we are going to learn today: how to pick electric nail file, which drill bits are suitable for product removal. That's going to be our main topic for today. Some safety tips: how to work without damaging yourself or your clients. How to file off product. I'm going to demo that. Product removal exercise. I'm going to give you one cool exercise that's also part of our new eFile 101 class, which I'm going to present a little later. And we're going to do hands-on product removal. Hello from Finland, driving home from IKEA with my boyfriend. We've been renovating one of our bedrooms and got some new furniture. That's so exciting. Congrats, Ida. I mean, you're watching my webinar while doing that. Thank you so much. Now, I have another question from you guys. Are you using electric nail file? And if you do, are there any problems, concerns you're experiencing? Let me know. We have Alabama, Georgia, Belgium, having a glass of wine. Awesome. Absolutely one of the best nail tech educators ever. Thank you. Watching from quarantine. I'm sorry, laying in bed, having a coffee and snuggle up to my doggy. Wow, guys, I can actually feel these vibes. That's so cool. I have a glass of sparkling juice, Virginia. Okay, so if somebody is experiencing problems with the video, you can simply reload the page. I'm watching it together with my dog and cat. Okay, now, electric file can be used for so many things, basically for anything. Manicure, pedicure, shaping, product removal, fills, and even design. Like there are certain designs that can be created with the e-file. I personally started using electric nail file from day one because before I became a nail technician, I was like 16. Before that, when I was 15, I was doing nails in a salon, and my nail technician, she used e-files. So I thought, of course, I'm going to use it as well. And I just started using that. I didn't have any class or special education because there was none back then, like no opportunity at all to learn it. So I was just, just using it somehow. And honestly, I made so many mistakes and I lost so many clients and money, obviously. I ruined my own nails a couple times as well as my best friend's nails because I was practicing on her. But then 3 or 4 years passed and finally I got enough experience to actually work with it. And today I'm about to share it with you so you will not have to go through all this drama like I did. I'm having a hard time getting all my nails to be a reasonably similar shape. I'm using nail file on my nails, camellia shearing often overfile them and need to wait a lot until they grow back as normal. Yeah, that's pretty common. By the way, I noticed that now on the internet you can see so many pictures with damaged or overfiled nails. It wasn't like that a few years ago. So I believe it's because e-files now they're so affordable, so easy to buy, and many people just start using them without realizing how to do it properly. And unfortunately, that's what we see. Okay. I use Melody Susie, the white and black portable. Oh, okay. So we're talking about what kind of electric files we are using today. So that's exactly what I'm about to share now. So I'm going to run through this information real quick because we have an article on our website about it. I have a separate video on YouTube. So I just don't want to take your time on it because we already have this information, but let's just talk about it real quick so you will have an idea what to look for when shopping for e-file. First of all, they can be corded or cordless. If you are working as remote nail tech, if you are going to other places, to people's houses, that's pretty valuable if you have the one that's cordless because you do not need to rely on all these wires. You can simply charge it and then you're good to go. But if you're working at a certain place in your salon or at home, I think it's more reasonable to use a corded one because usually they are more powerful. Forward and reverse mode is quite important because there's so many things we need to do and we need to have an e-file that's able to rotate in one as well as the opposite direction. Lightweight handpiece. Now, my handpiece, the one that I'm using, I cannot say that it's like super light because I've seen the ones that are lighter, let's say Chiara Sky cordless drill. But if it's too heavy, trust me, you will regret it because at the end of the day, we'll have our wrists hurting. We'll just get tired of all this work and we even start to hate it. I've been there, that's why I know. So it's better to choose the one that's not too heavy. Power has to be at least 30 watts, and power has nothing to do with rotation speed. Like the bead can rotate at 30,000 rotations per minute, but power is something different. It's actually the actual power which goes in a handpiece. Unfortunately, not all manufacturers provide this information. Sometimes you just cannot tell, but it should be at least 30. I have a lot of problems with overheating with my mom. It's sad for me, sharing. Yeah, we are going to talk about that. Not just talk, I will actually show you some things that you need to consider to avoid that. I'm not sure which speed to use with different beads. I have problems with sapings too. Okay, what means the colors of the beads? Okay, we're actually going to talk about some of these things. Now, next thing you need to keep in mind is standard bead size. It should be 3/32 inches because some e-files, some manufacturers provide the ones that are non-standard, and it's going to be a real headache shopping for ones because we have to have some special ones. So normally they're standard, so you can buy them in any nail supply and then you can use them with any e-file. And the last but not least is warranty. It's always nice to have some kind of protection and just to know that they will replace it in case it gets broken. Now let's talk about drill bits for product removal, and that's the main topic for today, product removal. Now bits vary in material, abrasive, shape, color, and size, which means all of these things can be different. But today we will talk specifically about bits for product removal. Now on this picture you can even see these are ceramic beads, by the way, so you can see black, pink, blue, and also all these things can be different. Now the most common and most popular ones are carbide and ceramic, the ones we used for removal. And carbide beads, I personally recommend them to use for removal of acrylic, dip system, hard gel, polygel, soft gel, and gel polish, which means it's basically anything. It doesn't mean that this particular bead that you see on this slide can be used for all of it. Let's say for acrylic, you should use the one with a green abrasive mark. We will talk about abrasive marks in a couple moments. But it means that carbide can be used for all of it. So it's good to have a few different kinds of carbide beads. Now, ceramic, technically, it can be used for all of that as well, like for acrylic. But if you will constantly use it for acrylic removal, it will get dull pretty fast and it's not going to just work as good. So I recommend using ceramic bead for hard gel, soft gel, gel polish, and polygel. So to combine it for softer products. My beads doesn't have colors. Well, sometimes the color band is right on it, but sometimes it comes as the plastic ring, which you take off before you start working with it. So in that case, you just need to memorize it. Okay, now they also have different color bands. There was just the question. And there are many colors, but we will talk about the colors we need for removal today only. Now, yellow among the ones that you can see on the picture is the softest one, but we're not going to use it for product removal because it's too soft. Now, red can be used already. I recommend using that for gel polish and soft gel removal. Blue is already medium, like medium coarse, and we will use it for gel polish, hard gel, and polygel. Green is more coarse, so it's great for hard gel, acrylic, and dip systems. And black is the most coarse. If you will look at this picture, you can even see that the flutes on this bead, they're really deep, like the deepest ones. So it's great for acrylic and dip system. Once again, this is just a recommendation. It doesn't mean that you cannot, let's say, take red one and use it for acrylic. Of course you can, but normally it will take you much longer. Okay. Now, a little bit more information, which I recommend you to screenshot because, you probably will need it a little later. Now, once again, this is approximate recommendation on how many clients, like how long will your bead will actually last, on how many services. Now, the one with the red band will be good for 50 to 60 clients, which means you take the bead with the red band, you do one removal, second removal, and so on. Once you do 50, then it's not going to work as well. Okay, so 50 clients done, just throw it away. Then we have blue, and this one is good for about 60 clients. Now green, it's gonna last longer, 90 to 100 clients. And the black is the longest one, 100, 120 clients. So you should not use it like for years, forever, okay? It's just not gonna work that long. So this is once again approximate, because one time I had a client, this was actually a model. So she came to me with the nails that her friend did to her when she was practicing. And they were like, I swear, they were like this thick, like super thick. And it took me like an hour probably to file them off. And obviously this bit got dull pretty fast. So that probably counted as like 5 clients or something like that. What's the difference between soft gel and hard gel? Caroline is asking. Well, hard gel is normally the gel you use for extensions, and soft gel is the one that you use for overlays. And it feels more soft. Now let's talk about the shape. So they can have different shapes, and there are hundreds of different shapes. But as we are talking about beads for removal today, there are 3 main shapes that you need to know. Cylinder, also known as drum, horn shape, or some people call it flame because it looks like a candle flame. And then we have cone, which is triangle. Cone, the one that's, ice cream cone, not the one you can find on the trees. Now, these shapes are the most common for product removal, and they all can be carbide as well as ceramic. I just had to took some as an example. Now, this one, cylinder or drum, may also have a different shape. Sometimes it's flat on top, sometimes it's rounded on top, sometimes it's golden, sometimes it's silver, so it might also have a slightly different size and shape, but it still works the same way. So this is the great bead for removal, but I personally think that it's awesome, but only if you have experience. I do not really recommend using that if you're just getting started because of its shape. Because on top, it's not narrow, and once you go too close to the cuticle, it's pretty easy to damage it. So I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, it's a great one, but only if you know what you're doing. You probably can see so many nail bloggers using it on Instagram, on YouTube, and like they use it properly only if you can actually feel the e-file very well. All right, now we have corn-shaped bit. This shape means it can come in different materials and sizes. Once again, it can be ceramic, it can be carbide, it may have a red, blue, or green band. And this shape is a bit more convenient because of this narrow tip. So it's a little bit easier to use, especially if you're a beginner. You can get closer to the cuticles. You can get closer to side walls. You can go around the cuticle without worrying that it may damage something. But there are some disadvantages about it as well. I'm going to share them in a few moments. And then we have a cone and triangle bit, which once again may be ceramic or maybe carbide. This one, I think, is one of the easiest one to work with. So if you're totally not confident about your skills, if you're just getting started, I think this is the easiest one to start with. The only disadvantage about this one is it's a bit hard to find it. I noticed that it's not as popular on Amazon, or it's just not very common. But carbide bits with this shape, there is something you can see something more often. All right, so there are 3 shapes that we're commonly used, and I would like to explain some things about them. Now, let me run real quick through your questions. Yellow is very soft. Yes. Oh, thanks, Alinda, for helping me, by the way. Yeah, so yellow is the softest one, well, among carbides. There's actually also white, which is even softer, but you can seldomly find it. What means purple band? When I've seen some unusual colors such as purple, orange, even pink bands. So sometimes manufacturers add these unusual colors just to stand out. Sometimes it means something in between. So purple, normally it's between blue and red, but this is like not common. You cannot find it like a lot. Now I will show you, I would like to explain you like the difference. Now we can see these three different shapes. And if you will take a look at this one, the drum one, these flutes, they're all the same because of its shape, which is great and means once you start filing the nail with this one, for example, it can be carbide as well. You see the carbide drum bit. So once you start filing the surface, you may take the product off evenly, which is awesome. But even if this part doesn't have any abrasive, so it's soft, there are no flutes there, it's still kind of hard to reach the area such as cuticle area or sidewalls with this part because it's square. So like I said, this bit is great, but it's not really suitable for beginners. Now we have a corn shape, and here the main disadvantage is because of its shape. So you see, unlike here when we have just a straight line, or here we have a straight line, here we have a curve. And nail is also like any nail is also curved. It's not just some flat surface, right? Which means once you start working with the nail, you will constantly need to change its position to not damage it, all right? And another thing I wanted to point out is the flutes. So as they get closer here, you can actually see they're smaller. They're like small, and here they get a little bigger, which means you will have a little less abrasive in this area. Sometimes this area gets clogged pretty often once you start working, and it means that this area will not work as good anymore, so you will need to rely only on this part. And finally, the triangle. Once again, here, the flutes, even on this picture, you can see it, right? Here, they're small and they're getting bigger and bigger, just like, ooh, we have a Christmas tree here. So that means that you will have more abrasive right here on the bottom because they're bigger, right? You can see they're bigger flutes. And here closer to the edge, they're super small. So the abrasive will be all different. And you will also need to adjust. But this shape is just super easy to work with because it's straight. Again, there's no curve, which means you can work with almost the entire surface of it right away on the nail. Let me guys know if this explanation was thorough enough, if it makes sense of what I'm trying to explain. So these three shapes, I mean, they all can be used for removal. They all have their own advantages and disadvantages. There's also another shape which looks a lot like this one, but without the top. So it's like a tapered cone, which is good as well. It's very similar to this one, it's just it doesn't have this sharp point. And by the way, if you're working with this one, make sure it does not have super sharp point. If it does, you can take some other bead or even a hand file and just, file it all off a little bit so it will get rounded and you will not touch the client's cuticle. Okay, e-file not good enough. I have Melody Susie's colors. It's 24 watts. It's been okay for me so far. Well, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just I personally recommend at least 30 watts if you're about to work with all kind of products such as acrylic, hard gel, polygel. If you're doing mostly light fields or cuticle care, that's definitely enough. It's just you will need to have a little more if you're about to file off lots of products. So sometimes it's enough. Okay. Now, let's talk about something different. How does carbide and ceramic beads work? And if you guys have any thoughts on what you see on the screen now, let me know. Okay, I'm going to check up your questions if we're missing something important. I like ceramic better as they don't heat as much. Exactly. And that's the main difference between them. So they both work pretty well. Ceramic beads are a bit more expensive, but they also last longer. And they also do not heat up as much. That's absolutely true. But the disadvantage about the the ceramic beads is that it's kind of hard to find all kinds of shapes in the market. They're usually much more with the carbide beads, and they do heat up a little more, but they have a much more variety of shapes and sizes, and also they are usually much more affordable. But it also depends on the quality. Like there are good quality carbide and ceramic beads and low quality. So you need to look for good quality ones, and you will see that they work different. So you probably noticed that what do they have in common is that they all have flutes. And flutes are basically like a small knives. Now let's take a look at the knives. I mean, you all know how a kitchen knife looks like. And on the one side, we have a blade. So this part is sharp. You don't want to touch it with your hand, right? Because we may get cut. But we also have the opposite side, which is absolutely dull, and we can't touch it. I mean, nothing's going to happen, right? Because only this side is designed for cutting tomatoes, vegetables, whatever you feel like cooking on your kitchen. Now, what is going to happen if we will take this kitchen knife and try to cut something with this side? Well, not much. Well, unless it's like boiled potato, something really soft. Yeah, you kind of can cut it through with this part, but it's not going to be as effective if you do with this side, right? And that's exactly how flutes on the beads work. One side is sharp, just like the blade, and another one is dull. That's why it's important to choose the proper rotation direction and work on the nail so you will actually be working effectively with the sharp side. Now there are different type of knife, like the throwing knives. I'm not sure with the right name of it, but it has blades on both sides. So whenever side you pick, it's gonna cut through. And there are also beads that are like that. They're called two-way beads. That's usually how they call them on Amazon, like two-way. So they have sharp sides on both sides, and you can use them in any direction. I will give you a close-up later. Now, why why manufacturers just won't do everything that's two-way? Why everything is so complicated? Well, if we make them two-way, we are limited to certain shapes of flutes. Okay, now let me guys know if you're confused yet or not. I will switch back to my presentation and explain how these things work. So all beads can be divided into three groups. Now, some of them are rotating, some of them are designed for right hand. Can we switch to the presentation, please? And some of them are designed for left hand. So there are flute types. And you probably noticed that they all have a different shape. Some of them are like this, like, I don't know, a flower. Some of them are more sharp. Some of them are, did you notice that the one in the upper left corner is like located in one direction, and the one that's right next to it is in a different direction? So 95% of the carbide and ceramic beads in the market today, they're designed for right-handed people. And well, which means you're supposed to work with the right hand. Now, about 5% are designed specifically for left-handed people, and if you shop for it, especially on Amazon, I've seen many of those, they just call it like that, left-handed drill bit. And they have flutes located in the opposite direction. If you are left-handed, that doesn't mean that you cannot use the right hand's one. You can. You will just need to hold the client's finger or your own finger in a certain way. And now the one in the lower left corner is the one that is two-way flutes, which means they have this cutting power on both sides. Okay, I would like to explain a little bit more about this rotation because I can see that you guys are probably a little bit confused. Now I have the same picture now right here, and let me actually place it exactly the same way. Now, if the flutes are located like this, now this side is sharp and this side is dull. which means this one should be rotating in this direction. So basically, these flutes, they're like a small knives. They will cut the piece of the product and then throw it away as the dust in this direction. Now this one is supposed to be rotating in this direction, reverse. This one's forward. This one is two-way. Now, because it doesn't matter in which direction you will rotate, it's gonna look the same and work the same, right? Because it's like that. And we have blades on both sides here. Okay, now does it make sense, guys? Now this part is dull. Now what's going to happen if I take this bead and try to work with it rotating in this direction? Now this sharp edge is a little bit sharp, so it's kind of going to work, but not as good. Or this one. Like this one is supposed to be working in this way, right? But if we will rotate it in the opposite direction, it's kind of going to work, but not as good. Now, once again, this part is the blade and the opposite side is dull. Okay, now there's one more thing I wanted to show you besides this direction. And if you have any questions about this topic, guys, let me know, because I know that maybe some of you hear it for the first time, and I know it might be a bit confusing. Oh, okay, I actually do not have this picture. I have it on my presentation. Now, if we will take a look at the flutes, yeah, so this is what I just explained. So the first one that you can see is designed for right-handed people, and you should work on forward mode to take off the product. Now, if you are confused, please write this down. You will be able to use it later. Now, if you're working with your right hand, just like me and most people, you need to work on forward mode when you're taking off the product. If you're left-handed, then you should work on reverse mode to do the same. And there are also two-way beads that can work in any direction. But it doesn't mean like you can work at any rotation. And if you're like, okay, I'm super confused, Anastasia, what are you talking about? Like, I have this bead. I do not know if it's right-handed or left-handed. What am I supposed to do? I will show you how you can actually check it easily. But let me explain another thing real quick before we go to it. Now, this is the close-up of the flute. So on first one, you can see just the regular sharp flutes. This is how they should look like when you're working with a bead. Now on the second one, we do not have these sharp edges anymore. They are soft, right? They are dull. This is how it looks like when your bead is not sharp anymore. It's not working anymore. So you see, the first one can actually grab the surface and cut some product on top, while the second one is dull. And it will remove some product, but it's also going to cause more friction, more heat spikes, and less results. And the last one, this red things you can see in between the flutes, this is the bead that is clogged with the product. Here's what happens when you're working with the gel that's not fully cured. Some color gels do this, some soft products do this all the time. So once it's clogged and dull on top of that, it's just not going to work. Now it's like the whole piece without any knives or flutes in it. There's no space in between the flutes, so even if you will work in the proper speed and direction, it's going to scratch the surface a little bit, but it's just not going to work as the actual carbide bead should work. Make sense? All I have right now is diamond beads and a mandrel. Can I use either of them to remove product, Jessica? That's a great question. Well, diamond beads are like 10 times, even more than 10 times softer than carbide or ceramic. So it will get dull like within 1 or 2 clients if you do. So technically you can, but they're going to run out of service like super fast. So it doesn't really make sense. Now, sand bands also. So you see sand bands and diamond beads, they have dust on them, right? So it's going to take you longer to remove the product. It will cause more heat once you do that, so heat spikes. and you will have to replace them like a lot. Well, for sand bands, it's just for one client. That's why carbide and ceramic beads are just way more effective. You will do it faster, you will do it easier, you will experience less heating when doing that, and especially if you have to remove like long acrylic nails, trust me, like it's gonna take like forever to do it with diamond beads, even if it's like a high quality one. Okay, so this is how it looks like. The bead is rotating, and then we take off the product from the cuticle area towards the free edge. Okay, now product removal. Okay, before we get to this product removal, I would like to show you a quick demo with all these directions and one-way or two-way beads, so you will have an idea of what it actually is. Okay, so all you need to do is just to take any tip that you have. And by the way, guys, if you would like to try it with me right now, if you have some bits that you would like to try, just feel free to do that. So we will need a couple tips covered with gel polish. Okay, so I covered them with one color first and then another color on top and cured it. All right, so now let's try this bead. Let's say you have no idea what it is. This is just the carbide bead that we would like to check. Every time I use an e-file to clean or remove excess from near the cuticle, it causes the product to start to lift. However, if I use a hand file, this doesn't happen and doesn't lift. Is it because my beads are dull? Okay, remove excess from the cuticle, it causes the start to lift. Well, okay, normally when you're doing the product application, I recommend to apply the product really thin near the cuticle, so you will not need to file it at all, whether it's e-file or hand file. Yes, some products are very sensitive to vibration, so it may be the reason why it starts to lift exactly. Is it because my beads are dull? Not necessarily. Some kinds of products are just, they're just sensitive to any kind of vibration. So yeah, that might be the issue. But what I recommend to do is just do not apply too much product near the cuticle anyways. And actually, if you use a really good quality, let's say carbide beads, and just slightly remove the product, it will never cause the lifting. So I think it just has to do with things combined, a little bit prep, a little bit product application, and filing as well. I thought I had to use sand bands on the barrel always. Oh my God. Well, this is an option. Like, okay, guys, I'm not saying you cannot. Absolutely you can, but just trust me. I mean, if you have them, and if you have carbide beads, just take one tip, okay? Just do this and set the timer and try it. You will see the difference, like, trust me. All right. Now, I am taking just one tip, and I am working with my right hand now, my usual dominant hand that I work with. I'm going to use the speed, let's say 18,000 rotations per minute. It doesn't matter that much right now. And I'm going to, no, I'm sorry. I was actually going to use a reverse mode, which is not correct. I just wanted to show you what's going to happen. Okay, so I turn it on and start removing the product. Does it work? Kind of, right? It is filing off in some way. But let me tell you the truth, it's actually not. Now I'm going to use the same bead, the same hand, but I will just switch to forward mode, which I am supposed to use as a right-handed person, and we'll do the same. Can you guys see the difference right away? So now it's rotating in the direction that it should, and it's filing off the color on top like right away, and I can see the color that we have underneath. So this is the simple test on how you can try your bits if you're not sure like in which direction you should be working. Now, if you are right-handed, when removing the product, you should place your handpiece from the right side of the product. and go all the way down. Now, if you would like to practice with me, now you need to take one tip, cover it with one color, cure it, cover it with another color, and then let's just file off the half of the tip. Now, your goal is to file it off like that, and do not file it all the way through to the tip. So you see the tip color is white. And near the cuticle, you can go a little bit like that. So once you file it all through, that means that's too much, girl. You just damaged someone's nail. Okay. Now let me clean the dust. Okay, now this is the result that we need to get. Okay, and if you're watching from the website, you can, once you do it, you can upload the picture right there. If you guys are watching from YouTube, unfortunately, there's no such feature there. So what I recommend you to do is to log in through nailsproacademy.com like right now and do it, because I would like to see some of your works. Now, let's try the two-way beads, right? What's going on with them? Now, Kara Sky recently launched some cool beads that are two-way. And if you actually take a look at them, like once you get a bit more experience, you will be able to tell that this is a two-way bead right away. Or you just need to ask the manufacturer whenever you're shopping for them. And by the way, two-way beads, they usually do not really have color bands because they're pretty much the same. Now, okay, so if you are two-way, doesn't mean that you can work in any direction without even thinking about it. No. If you're working from the right side, you are supposed to use a forward mode. Now, if you're working from the left side, you're supposed to use reverse mode. Now let's try it. And I am going to do the opposite, okay? Doing the wrong part now so we can feel the difference, or maybe we cannot. Okay, reverse mode. Well, I have a super thin layer here. It's still kind of working. Okay, but it feels like it's mostly scratching the surface. Yeah, that was way too thin. You see, it works anyways. Now I'm going to switch to forward mode. And it does the same, just much faster, right? Can you guys like see the difference? It does work in that direction as well. We just get much more result when it's like that. Now, if we're working with the left hand, well, I'm not as good with my left hand, obviously, but by the way, once you're working with your non-dominant hand, my advice to you is just to hold the handpiece exactly the same way as you would if this was your dominant hand. Now, this is how I hold it when it's my right hand. So this is how I'm supposed to hold it when it's left. Now, let's try the forward mode. My God, it does feel uncomfortable. Yeah, well, now I can feel the difference. So you see, once again, this layer was way too thin. It's still kind of removing the product, but not too much. Then I switched to reverse. I didn't change the speed or anything. Much better and much faster. Can you guys feel the difference now? So once you feel some concerns, you can always take the tip and check with yourself. So you obviously can see that I'm not too comfortable with my left hand, but it's working whenever I'm using the proper rotation. Is 18K speed enough? Well, for this exercise, absolutely, because we have like a couple layers of gel polish. In real life, it depends on the layer. If you see a really thin overlay, then yeah, 18 is usually enough. Sometimes I use 22 or even 25, so you just need to take a look on the nails and decide according to how thin or thick the application is. Okay, how fast RPM do you recommend for product removal? So the most important thing with the speed when doing product removal is that it should not be slow. I strongly do not recommend using low speed that's like lower than 15. Like 10 or 8,000 is just way too slow. Actually, let me show you, right? It's just so much easier to see than to explain now. Okay, 10,000. No, let me just pick another bead so you can just clearly see. Now, when it's rotating too slow, we will have more friction, we'll have to press more, we'll have to use more force, and we'll just spend obviously more time, and we will get less results. Now, 10K, so you see, it is going to work, but you see, it took me like, I had to do it like a few times until I actually take off the color to reach the previous one. Now, once I turn to 19, which is almost 20, like double, so you see, it just takes, I can do the same within like 3 or 4 steps, right? But also when it's working faster, you do not need to press that much, right? So you see, I can work straight with this bead. I do not have to push, because every time you push, let me show you in a different color. So once you push it, once you get things like that, whenever you do the product removal, these are usually overfiled areas of the natural nail. So we can damage them quite easily if we do that. Oh, wow. Okay, we have some pictures from you guys. I am excited. Okay, Claudia is sharing. I always did my nails, but just started nail tech course. This webinar is amazing. And ooh, let me see the picture. Oh, you actually did that on your nail. Good job. And it looks like you filed off some fresh application. Now I feel sad. My own nails need feel starting now. Marie, good job. I actually need that one as well. So I'm about to take off from my nail to. Good job. Very well. I can see you're using this carbide bit. And yes, awesome. Okay, great. Now, let me guys know if you get that, and we can switch to more practice. No, actually, let me switch back to the presentation first, because I would like to now explain you how, in which direction, and what's going to be the structure of product removal. Now we have this red nail, which is covered with the product, and I would like just to show you on how you should work when removing it. Now, this is step 1. The entire nail is covered with the product. Now, I recommend you to start by doing a frame. So you see this red part? This is where you should start, starting from the left one. The arrow that goes on top, this is where we're going to start with the right side wall. If you're left-handed, then you can do all the same, but in the mirror reflection, like starting from the other side. Then, step 2, we go around the cuticle. And step 3, we go all the way down across the left side. So now this frame is clean of product. Well, normally it's not going to look like that, but because usually when you take off the product, it's outgrown a bit, so it's not going to be like that close to the cuticle. And then all we need to do is just to take off the product in the middle. Okay, so it's pretty simple, basically 2 steps. Step 1, we're working on this frame. Step 2, we're working in the middle. I'm actually going to show you that on the tip first also, because on my nails I do not have a color at the moment, so it's not be like as bright. Okay, yeah, that's what we are going to do now. And also, this is not just the great exercise we're about to do. You can also check your bits, how they work, if they're good enough, if they're not good. So I will be using the same carbide bit, the triangle shape. I will set up the speed. Let's do 22. That's the one I most commonly use for actual extensions. And now, before I turn it on, let me just explain. So here's step 1. We go all the way up from this side. Now, when you're holding the client's hand, you can turn it a little bit to the side so we can slide all the way down, all the way up. Then we go around the cuticle. Then we go down from here. And once we're done with this frame, we can just take off the product in the middle. Now remember, I explained to you that this part has less flutes than here. You can actually see it. These guys are so much bigger, which means we will have to work a little bit more here because this edge is just softer. Okay, 22 rotations per minute. It's very important to hold the bead like really tight. Okay, if I'm going to hold it like that, like, I mean, no, that's just not gonna work. Okay, so you just hold it real firm, go from this part all the way up. Now we have a light blue color down there. Remember, our goal is to not file it all the way down to the tip color. Okay, now actually let me clean the dust for you so you can see. Now we turn it back so it's facing like the usual way we're facing the nail of our client, and then we go around the cuticle. Now I just go from one side to the other. It doesn't have to be like some kind of certain shape. Well, I guess that's it. Okay, and once you go like this, try to always do it super smooth, because once you will start poking the surface, we can easily overfile the nail of our client. And then we just go all the way down from here. So now we have this, how I call it, clean frame, right? And now we only have the middle part that's left, which can be easily done in just couple moves. Well, maybe not couple, but oops, okay, so somebody didn't fully cure the product, my bad. So that's why it's filing off so easily. All right, yeah, I probably didn't do a very good job in curing. But anyways, okay, here's the point. So you have to have a super, uh-oh, I don't know if you can see this small hole. Well, this one was too much, so we obviously didn't need that move. Now, your goal is to take off the product and have some color left without going all the way to the tip. Well, this one is probably not the best example because the tip is white and the color is light blue. So it's better to use some contrast colors, such as if you have a white tip, you can apply black and then you can apply blue and take it off like that. So this is the exercise I recommend you guys to do at home, not just for your practice, but also to check your bits and understand how they work. And I strongly recommend you to try this technique. There are so many different techniques out there for product removal, but I consider this one is one of the best if you're just getting started. Like, this one is great for beginners. All right, we have a picture from Maya. I have a thin gel. Let me open it up so I can get a, ooh, good job. Yeah, I can see that your overlay was super thin, but you had a, ooh, you have a beautiful nail beds out there. And yeah, be careful because I can see that some of your natural nail is already like free of product. But that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, mine's digital is just 1 to 2. I have no idea what the RPM at the numbers. So normally you need to know the top speed of your e-file. Let me, yeah, well, I can also, I can show you mine, but it's just digital. So whatever you put it on, you just see the numbers. And usually it's multiple by 1,000. Actually, let me try. Yeah, I think I can. So on mine, you can see that there's the number and then it's multiple by 1,000, which means like right now we have 21. It means 21K rotations, not just 21. Yeah, you see, so it's digital as well. So whatever I like change it, you see the number changing, but here we have like multiple by 1,000. Actually, yeah, you see, I can even do 0.6, 0.5, but it depends. It depends on the e-file. So normally the number that you see is 1,000 rotations per minute. If it's not digital, then you just need to see where's the top speed. Let's say here we have a 35. Let me, yeah, I think it will be easier if I will just explain it to you on the paper. Okay, so normally, like here we have this handle. Yeah. Okay, so here's the top speed, and you know that it's 35, obviously, K RPMs, rotations per minute. And here's the zero, the starting point. So then you just need to divide the half of this part, which is probably somewhere here, and it's going to be 17, right? 17 something. So 20 will be around here, like 20K and so on. So you just do it approximately. Yeah, you will not be able to set it up like exactly at speed of 10 or 12, but it doesn't really matter because usually you will just know for the e-files that I'm using that are not digital, I just know that about this, about this area I do product removal, about this area I take off acrylics if it's like super thick, and I do cuticle care right here, which is about 15. Okay, Jessica, I'm lazy, so I had color over colored acrylic. Oh, good job. Okay, you just took off the half of the pink. Very well. Well done. It's 35 RPMs. Okay, guys, so did you understand this simple trick with the speed? If a bit clogs up, what do you suggest us to do? Use acetone and let them soak for a couple minutes. Yes, but it's better to use acetone will clean it, but it's better to use sanitizer, the one that's special for disinfecting bits, because you will not just clean them, you will also disinfect them, such as barbicide. Or also after soaking them off, you can use this metallic brush. I don't know, I think it's called brush. And yeah, I do not have a very clogged one. Well, it's not going to work because I didn't soak it off. But after soaking, if you clean it while rinsing under tap water, it will be cleaned better. But my favorite way of cleaning bits is definitely using an ultrasound sterilizer, because it will do all the work for you. You just put it there, you just pour the disinfectant and the water, and then this ultrasound waves will do all the cleaning for you. Kind of like, this is kind of like we're doing dishes with our own hands, and ultrasound sterilizer is like we're using the dishwasher. Okay, so I think, guys, it is time for the next step for product removal, which is hands-on. Now, I have some nails that are definitely, it's time to take them off. And I would like to show you how we can take the product off without taking it completely off. Because sometimes people ask for it, right? Sometimes you just want to leave some product on the top. Sometimes your client is concerned like, ooh, will my nails be damaged? Like, she's not going to do new extensions right away. She just wants to have her nails for a while. So I think the best way is to take it off, but leave some thin layer of gel, especially if it's not lifting, just like mine. So yeah, I was not doing anything to them specifically for this webinar, so I can show you guys. Now you can see that it's outgrown all the way up here, and well, maybe here a little bit, but I do not really have lifting here. And I have, yeah, I just had that with the marker. So I also have a natural nail all the way up here, which means we can actually keep a little bit of it. So now let's do it. I'm going to use a carbide bit, and I'm going to file off the length first. So I'm right-handed, right? Like, let's just imagine that I'm going to hold my finger a little bit differently, but I just want to show you first like it was a client. So we're going to file from left side to the right side, like all the way up here on the forward mode. And I will see probably about 25,000, because when you're filing the length, we just need more speed. Now, if I will be working like I normally do, just like this, you just will not be able to see it because I will be blocking the camera, so I will hold it a little bit like that, okay? And then once we take it off, I'm going to file a little bit on the top, and then I would like just to leave some product right here, so I will not have just bare nail, because you probably know this feeling of nothing on your nails. It doesn't feel as good. I would also like to take a glove and use it on my other hand, so it will not be like completely naked. So you can also focus on my other hand. If you remove hard gel completely, what is the full process? Do you change the bead from coarse to fine? Once the product is thin, you get close to natural nail. Dorina, exactly. First, you start with the coarse bead, well, depending on the product. Like right now, I have a hard gel and relatively long nails, so green abrasive sounds just fine. But then if you want to take it off all the way, you may switch to the red abrasive. Well, I'm not going to file it off completely this time. That's why I will show you a slightly different way. But yeah, you just switch to a finer abrasive. Exactly. Okay, now it's 24,000 rotations per minute. And the most important part, when you're working with the e-file, you cannot just work like I call it on air. If you will be filing like that, your client is about to die of vibration. Like it's not gonna feel good. So you always need to have something like, I usually use my pinky so you can feel this other hand. So when it's the client, you just do it like that, okay? So your hand you're working with, your dominant hand, like right or left, it doesn't matter. You just have to feel where it's going to go, okay? Now I turn it on and I'm going to hold it like that so it will be visible for you guys. And since we're taking all the length off, yeah, some people actually hate this sound, but I'm probably a maniac because I like it. Now we can use the tip of the bead and file it all the way up, or we can go a little deeper because remember, our bead has more flutes in the center. All right, and well, we're done. We can just break it at this point, or let's just go all the way. All right. Now let me show you the thickness. It was relatively thick. And well, let's just straighten it up a little bit because this line is not ideal yet. Just make it more straight. And well, we have some leftover product underneath, so let's just clean it. But since we decided to keep my nail, I'm not going to file a lot down here. I'm going to file the product off on top. So we cannot just leave it like that because that's way too thick. It's not going to be comfortable, even though I, as a nail tech, used to have nails like that sometimes when you just, don't have time. And then I will be working from one side to the other, taking off the top coat as well as the product. So the goal is, you see, I'm working smoothly. I'm kind of like shaving the layers off, just like you would peel the potato. If I will start, how I call it, jumping with a bit on the surface, we will have the surface that looks like Swiss cheese, in all these holes. And it's not gonna look good, first of all, but that's also a bit dangerous because we can easily overfile the nail. Now, how thin should we file? Well, it depends. Like, actually, I think I will be okay when we have some glitter leftovers. You see, I'm not a picky client. And on this, actually, now I remember, if you guys actually seen this tutorial on my YouTube, I use this glitter almost directly on the nail. Yeah, so if we would like to file all the glitter off, we'll have to go all the way onto my natural nail. And I don't feel like doing that. I want to leave a little bit of product tonight on my nail. So yeah, we're not going all the way. Love your nails. Thank you. I don't understand. I shouldn't touch the base coat, just top coat and gel with color. Okay, now when you remove the product, you can remove it completely all the way up to the bare natural nail, or you can leave some base coat. It depends on the goal. Let's say if your client wants to completely change the design, or if your client came from another salon and this product looks suspicious, you just don't feel like doing feel on it. There are just different reasons why we need to take it off completely. So if your goal is to take it all off, then you can switch to the finer abrasive once you get closer to the nail, or you can switch to the hand file if you do not feel too confident yet. Now, normally in my life, if the client is not going to do a new extension, if she just wants to have her natural nails, I always suggest taking taking off the layer, but not completely. Just leaving a thin layer of the product, because it will just feel better. Her nails can grow off naturally a bit easier. Does it make sense? So it's up to you. You can take it off completely, but if you do not have enough experience with the e-file, then maybe it will be wise to switch to the hand file as you get super close to the nail, just in order to not damage it, okay? Well, so now we're pretty close to the nail, but we still have some product. You probably noticed that this area, I didn't touch it yet because the product there is still super thin. And it looks like, yeah, I probably filed almost all of the glitter anyways. Oh, well. And now the last part, I will go closer to the sidewalls and the cuticle because I intentionally didn't want to touch it all this time, so I will not overfile it. Well, my product is just way too outgrown, so we do not need to worry about that. But as you're working closer to the cuticle, remember you need to be super careful when working in these areas all the time. Okay, so we have some excess product here. When you're working on yourself, I personally think that it's kind of comfortable because you can turn yourself however you want. I mean, you cannot really do such things with your clients. And you can also feel everything. Once it's too hot, once it heats up, you can immediately feel it. That's why it is better to practice on yourself. So in our new online course I will present in a few minutes, we pay attention to practice exercises first. So you need to practice, I think, on the tips first, then on some other things, and then you need to practice on yourself. And only after that, once you feel confident about it, then you can switch to the hands-on practice. Okay, so I will just slightly shape it with the hand file. As you've seen, I did most of the work with the e-file. I will just slightly shape the corners. Yeah, looks a little weird, right? Let's maybe try to take a little bit more off. Anyone in the chat is also super helpful. Yes, thank you guys so much, because obviously when I'm working, I'm not able to read chat, and it's so active. It's so hot out there, guys. I can hardly read all the comments. Thank you so much for that. After we're done, I promise I'm going to read them all. It's just quite hard to do it while I'm working or demoing something. Okay, I think we'll be fine with this leftover, because now it's clear, it's super close to the nail. And if I will just keep filing, we will take all the product off. So now let me show you from the side. Now you can see that it's not as thick as it used to be. We just have a super thin layer. Now, once you need to file this part that is extremely close to the cuticle, I just recommend you to do one, couple moves with the hand file, and that's it. So then you can apply glossy or matte top coat, so the nails will look a little better. And that's it. Then we just let them naturally grow. And your client, then you just hand them the file and tell them once they grow too long, they just need to shorten them, and that's it. So to me, this is one of the easiest and safest way for removal. And if you would like to take it all off, then you can proceed with the hand file, or you just switch to a lighter abrasive and carefully take it off. If this is acrylic or soft gel, then you can soak it off. It's even better to soak the rest off. It's not safe to breathe in the dust. Absolutely it's not. So you need to use a mask or a protective shield, but when you're working, I strongly recommend you to use dust collector. I was actually thinking of taking one with me today, but it's just so big that I didn't. But it also helps. It's going to take some of the excess dust when you're working with it. So for removal of acrylic, you move the e-file like a potato, not in the Swiss cheese way. I always move my e-file in a potato peeler way, whether it's acrylic or gel or hard gel, it doesn't matter. Heat spikes, we're going to talk about them in a couple moments now, because that's actually the next topic I would like to discuss. Now, I think, yeah, troubleshooting. Now, these are the most common problems that you may experience when working with e-file. So the first one is taking all product off with e-file. Like I just said, it is possible, but you need to have a certain expertise and practice in it. So if you do not feel confident about it, please just leave a thin layer and finish it off with a hand file or with the superfine abrasive, or soak it off if possible. Another common mistake is over-filed sidewalls, because usually we cannot see them very well. We just keep filing and filing them and just end up over-filing. So please be careful. Always hold the client's hand so you can easily see what's going on. Never work in the area if you cannot see it. It's like driving blindfolded, right? We don't want to do that. Another problem is hitting the free edge. Now let me guys know, have any one of you experienced this problem? You're just filing the length or just filing the nail and then it just hits. Usually it happens if you're using whether the wrong direction of the rotation of this bead, or you're just getting too close to the edge. So whatever you're doing, filing off the length, filing off the product from the top, do not get close, super close to the opposite edge, because once you do, your bead may slide up to the sidewall and cause this uncomfortable occasion. Now, heat spikes. That's very common, right? Now, if you feel heat spike, or your client does, that means that the surface is hot, right? Why is it hot? Well, if you will take just two surfaces and do something like that, what's going to happen? We're going to feel heat, right? That's just the friction force. That's exactly why you can feel heat with the bead as well. That means it's, there's just too much friction. The most common is whether the speed is too low, or maybe you're pressing too hard. Maybe the bead is clogged, so it's not doing its work. You're trying harder and harder, you just press more and more, and you just do not, get the result that you want. So this is how we have these heat spikes. And the last problem is vibration. Usually it's just due to the quality of the bead. If it's vibrating too much, normally there's not that much you can do. Check with the manufacturer, maybe there's something wrong with it. Or if it's just vibrating as like crazy, unfortunately, what I recommend you to do is just to change it. Just get another e-file, because if you feel the vibration, man, that's going to be a nightmare, because it's not going to feel good for you, for your client. And after the entire day of working, it's just going to hurt. So whatever you feel vibrating is definitely a bad sign. Please do something about it, because it's not okay. It's not typical, but also check maybe if you're working like at extremely low speed, let's say 4,000 rotations per minute, and trying to like take off the product at this speed. This may be another reason for vibration, but normally it's just the quality of the handpiece. I didn't understand how to avoid hitting the free edge. Okay, sure. Let me show you. Now, if we will take the nail and the bead. So let's say we are filing the length or filing the surface, right? Let's just pretend we are right-handed, okay, the most common one. So right-handed, we need to work on a forward mode, right? So this is, in this direction, we will be filing off the length, and in this direction, we will be filing off the product from the top, okay. Now, when you're filing off the length, like I just showed you on my nail, we need to go here in this direction. Now you're going here, everything feels great, you're going there, and then you just went too close here. So your bit just slided right here. And now, well, it's rotating clockwise. Okay. And now it hit this side. Okay. So when the bit is rotating and you're moving it, that means these knives are working in the opposite way. That's why it's cutting them off. So once you hit this part, it's gonna hit because it is rotating clockwise, okay? So it's not gonna feel good. Another, sometimes you may experience it when you're filing the product underneath, like you're doing this, and if you're working at the forward mode in this direction, you are filing the nail underneath, and then you accidentally go too close to this edge. And this time it's not going to hit, but it's just gonna do this like, and normally my students get so scared of this, but I mean, it doesn't hurt or anything, it just maybe looks a little scary. So what happened is just rotated like this because you went too close to this part. So what you need to do is just do not go too close to any edge whenever you're working. Okay, when you're filing off the length, once again, you just go like this and be careful, like do not slide over there. Just go, you know, just straight from one side to the other, and that's it, okay? No other moves. How can you remove pearls in gels with e-file? Well, if the pearls that you're using, they are plastic, so pretty soft, you can use the carbide bit. Normally, blue or red abrasive will be enough. Now, if they're harder, then probably you should use green or black. But when you're doing anything like that, like caviar beads, rhinestones, pearls, please do not forget to protect your eyes. Use protective shield or plastic gloves because they may hit you in the eye pretty bad. The same is fair for any product, but especially acrylic nails and any kind of pearls or rhinestones, okay? So be careful, guys, with that one. My e-file can rotate only on one side. Well, this was on one of my first slides. You need to pick the e-file that can rotate in both sides because in our work, we need to it to be able to rotate in both sides. Actually, for product removal, there's just one that we use, but for cuticle care, for shaping, usually we use both of them. Thank you. I had these problems when filing under the nails. Great. Okay, guys, so we are going to have some time for Q&A. I'm going to run through the questions. Some of the questions maybe I missed, or you can just feel free to ask them again because I may not notice some of them. And now I would like to share some information about the upcoming new eFile 101 course. Then I will share the special deals that we have because it's Black Friday is coming soon. And then we will do the giveaway. One of you will get our new class for free. And then we will have a Q&A section, okay? So stay tuned, more things, exciting things coming up. Now, would you like to learn how to safely use the e-file? So the idea of creating this e-file 101 course, actually Keith, our educator, shared it because she's working with our students like every day, and she noticed that so many students are struggling with e-file, like how to hold it, how to choose the proper speed, how to choose the proper beads. So today on this webinar, I shared some things on how beads work. We compared carbide and ceramic beads, and this is probably like 5% of the information that you will get on this course, because we will be talking about more beads, about fills, about cuticle care, and our new electric nail file 101 class. So these are the lessons that are included. Drill bits overview, all you need to know about rotation speed. Like today we talked only about rotation speed for removal, but you also need to understand how to use it when you're prep the nails for extensions, when you're doing cuticle care. how to use electric file with both hands. And I even created this special lessons, how to remove product on yourself with non-dominant hand, because I believe that's pretty important as well. How to do simple fill, how to do advanced fill with product lifting, how to clean nail drill bits, like the entire process, a basic nail prep for extensions, and simple cuticle care. So basically it includes everything that e-file can do, and the most important basic exercises like this one. Like today I showed you one we did on a tip, but we are going to do in this class much more. There will be more exercises with the tips, different ones. We are going to practice how to file length, how to file surface. We even going to do this one. This one's pretty challenging though, on coil eggs. So this egg is covered with a gel polish, and your goal is to take it off without messing it up. And it's possible, guys, if you are going to follow the technique we will teach you, and only after that we will practice on ourselves, and then only we can proceed to hands-on. Now, at this point, usually I get this question, okay, Anastasia, that's great, but is it actually possible to learn how to how to work with the e-file through the computer? Because this is serious, man. This is not painting on the nails. This is not creating flowers on the nails, right? This is serious. And I think the best way to answer is just to show our students' works of our class. Now, I see this question, is that the Russian manicure, Mary? Well, we have another class which is called electric nail file manicure. This one is more like a Russian manicure. Now, the one I'm presenting today, it's all about e-file. So it includes fills, it includes product removal, it includes prep for extensions, and a little bit of cuticle care, as people usually refer as Russian manicure as well. It doesn't go too deep to cuticle care because there are different types of cuticles, and we have a separate course for that, but it includes a little bit of that. Now, let me show you students' works, because I think it's just easier to see. And we had this e-file manicure class for a while. This is a different one, not the new one I'm presenting. I just wanted to show you that we have an experience teaching people how to use e-file online, and these are the results. These are graduation works that they sent us when completing this course. Now you can see that it's completely possible because we have this special step-by-step lessons, exercises, and most importantly, live teacher graded assignments. It's not like you watch the video on YouTube like right now and then you're on your own, like, oh, okay, like I'm going to practice by myself. You're not. You will be supervised by a teacher. You will do some work. Like some of you just sent me the pictures like of the tips you did today, right? So you're about to do the same on a constant basis, but not online. You will do it at your comfortable pace. And then the teacher will grade it and you will continue learning. Now, this is just a small part of the testimonials that we have. You can see them all on our website in testimonials section. We do not edit or delete them, by the way. And I value it so much because I believe this is how we could change the style of our education. Like not all of the testimonials that our students leave are like 100%, like you guys are great. Sometimes they actually share some things they didn't like, such as, I wish you gave us more time for assignments, or just more information about this or that. And this is how we improve our classes every month, and that's why they always constantly change. Now, I would like to be honest with you because there are some things and some people that will not really benefit from this class, okay? So I just want to be honest. It's not for everyone. Will e-file online class work for me? No, it will not if you are not ready to challenge yourself. Now, I appreciate, guys, I swear, I love it if you enjoy my company, if you just like hanging out with me, drinking coffee, water, margarita, that's great. Thank you for that. But if you will just watching me and then just, continue with your life, that's awesome. You will get some knowledge, absolutely. But if you then will take this tip, will you do it by yourself and practice, you will be able to achieve results like you've just seen on the previous slides, like those students did. Because I love watching ballet on, on TV. I do it all the time, but I cannot do anything like these guys do because, I'm just watching. I'm not trying this. Now, if you're not ready to fulfill assignments, once again, our classes are not just look and learn. Look, practice, send to us, wait for the teacher to review, analyze. Sometimes you will need to redo it if you did it wrong, and then you proceed to the next step. Now, if you're not ready to work a little bit on yourself, then probably it will not be the best fit for you. And if you already are an experienced e-filed user, I believe this class will be just too easy for you. Okay, now this class will work for you if you do not feel confident when working with e-file yet. If you want to learn more, if you are just getting started with electric nail file, whether you're a home user or professional, and if you're ready to challenge yourself and bring your skill to the next level, like that's exactly what we're about to do on this class. I personally am a fan of online teaching. Well, obviously. I mean, I'm also an online student like all the time. I take all kinds of online classes every single day. Like right now, I'm learning Spanish, I'm learning marketing, and I love it because, I can just sit at the comfort of my own home, do it when I have time for it. Like, let's say last week I was pretty busy, so I could just, skip it a little bit. But then next week I have more inspiration and I can work more on it. And also, if you like learning new things, just like me, you will definitely love it. Now, I see so many questions about this class. I will share it in a couple moments. Now, how does online education at Nails Pro Academy work? I see that so many people here are our current students, so you guys know it. But I would like to share it briefly for the people who are new to us. Now, it's not like this webinar, it's not YouTube and it's not live. We do pre-recorded high-quality videos because you will not need to depend on the internet speed. You just sit at home or somewhere else. You just watch pre-recorded high-quality videos anywhere. Like, well, not today, there's not as many options, but I've seen some students sending pictures from the beaches, from at home or, on the floor, like this lady. You can use any device. It's better to use a wide screen, but it can be your laptop, your iPad, your phone, whatever works for you. And then this is the most valuable and important part of our classes, that you will get a feedback from certified teacher that will actually tell you like, hey, you are doing great, let's proceed. Or she will tell you, well, like on this one, index finger, there's a bit too much product near the cuticle. And then you will need to redo it so you can do much better. And then you proceed to the next step. Then you do the graduation work, pass the exam, and once you do, you will get one of our beautiful certificates. Are you guys exciting? Would you like to get that? Now, this class also gives you 20 CEU credits. If you're from the US, you probably heard about it. This is continuing education units. In certain states, you need them in order to renew your nail technician license every year. Now, you will get 4 months access. I heard that some of you asked, like Claudia is asking, how long is this class? So we know that we have Black Friday and holidays coming up, right? So you may be busy during December. That's why we extended this class for 4 months. Honestly, if you will just sit down and work every day, it's quite possible to finish it within a couple of weeks. But we give you 4 months so you can do it at your own pace, so you will not have to hurry and just, comfortably finish that. Now you'll get teacher graded assignments and certificate of completion, of course. And this is how the certificate will look like after you graduate. Now, for those who was asking how much, this class normally, like the regular price, is $150. But we decided to include some bonuses in it also. So the first one is Nail Drill Bits mini book. So this is the actual book. Well, you'll get in PDF version, so you can print it just like I did, or you can just use it on your phone. So it includes everything you need to know about beads. Like, let me just show you something like carbide beads, diamond beads, recommended beads for different services, like this one. These beads are recommended for removal, hard gel, pushing back the cuticles, cleaning sidewalls, and so on. It also includes a step-by-step instructions on how to clean them, how to store them. So this is a small book, but it's just a part of the class that I decided to include because, it's just nice to have something like that. You can always take a look at this. How to choose the correct bead, as I'm a left-hand user. Plus, I think my speeds are too low. Okay, well, you need to search specifically for beads that are designed for left-handed people. I did some research before this webinar, and on Amazon, that's exactly what you need to type in left-handed drill bits. So they have these flutes that are rotating in the opposite direction. Now, you can use regular ones as well. It's just you will have to hold the client's hand in a different way, which is not very comfortable. Or you can use these two-way beads, which are usually pretty great, especially for product removal. And speaking of low speeds, low speeds is usually used for nail prep, for cuticle care, sometimes for design, and that's it. For product removal, for shaping, for fills, most of the time you need to use at least like more than 15, like 18 and higher. What if you already passed one of the courses in the offer, Colette? Well, you can renew your knowledge again. That's all I can say. I mean, yeah, if you already took like manicure 101, well, sorry, that's the offer that we created today, but I think it still will be valuable because, I mean, this class, eFile 101, is still worth $150. So if you passed all of these classes, I mean, just contact us. Maybe we can give you some other small class instead, but I believe this offer is still great anyways. Okay, how can I download the bead ebook, Claudia? Okay, so there will be a button once you place the order, right? Can you guys help me in the comments with this? How do they get this book if they already placed the order? So yeah, I will get some help from my team right now because this kind of technical questions I'm not very good at, but that should be super easy. Like you click the button and that's it. Can you briefly address using eFile for cuticle prep work? Gregory is asking. Yes. So unlike product removal with cuticle work, you need to use mostly diamond beads, soft sand bands, camas beads. So these beads should be softer and the speed should be much slower, between 10 to 18,000 rotations per minute. Now with cuticles, it's a bit more complicated and challenging because with product, we can afford ourselves to press more, to press a bit harder. With cuticles, we should be much more delicate because this is skin. This is closer to matrix, so that's serious. That's why we give more, recommend to practice more on it. And for cuticles only, we have a separate course, which is eFile. Oh my God, we have so many courses, I even start to forget all those names. So it's called eFile Manicure class, and it specializes like in only the cuticle work because we go through all of the cuticle types like men's manicure, manicures with sensitive cuticles, thick cuticles, damaged cuticles, all of it. But if you're like a professional user of eFile, if you're confident with it, then this course might work for you. But if you're not, I strongly recommend you to take this one first, eFile 101, because it's like the basics, and then you can proceed to eFile Manicure. And by the way, guys, yeah, I've noticed that some of you are already joining this class, and thank you so much for that. So if you would like it, if you would like to continue with us and would like to learn more about cuticle care after that, like go more in depth and professional, then eFile Manicure class might be a good fit. And do not forget that we always have some specials for our students. And oh my God, I forgot. Do you know what else you're getting? You will be part of our international chat with the students. So Gregory, Elinda are a part of it because they're our current students, and I see much more people who are here today. So you will be able to take part in this chat where people usually talk about like how to order things in the certain countries, things like that. Okay, will this qualification for this e-file course cover main insurance in the UK? Paula, that's a great question. Well, unfortunately, we do not provide such things as insurance because it varies from country to country. What we can guarantee is that you will have skill to be able to work with the e-file. So like our certificates were recognized in many salons in the US as well as in European salons. That's what I know for sure. But like we do not provide like actual license for the US or insurance UK because I believe that's something you need to go into like special local authorities. I'm all signed up for the classes and I cannot wait to begin. How to properly remove product, the direction of e-file, how to select correct bit, and the many differences. Thank you so much. I have a question. If I were to sign up, will I need to buy specific e-file, and how much does a good e-file cost? Well, yeah, in order to, Jocelyn, to take this class, you will definitely need an e-file. Now, the cheapest good quality e-file that I've seen was about $100. I believe we do have some recommendations of the e-file that you can get. We do not make you to buy a certain one. You can choose from many options. But yeah, you need to pick a good professional one because if you will get the one that's for home use, you will just not have enough power to do certain things. And your goal, I assume, is for to learn how to work with e-file, right? And for that, you need to have the professional tool. Now, I've seen if you guys, some of you are having troubles with payments or so on, we will help, our team is going to help you, all right? So please do not worry, just make sure you secured your spot by placing the order. That means we already have your email and we will be able to contact you and we can talk about it and definitely help you. No worries. Okay. Camila, thank you so much for another great webinar. I bought a couple cotton beads from Alexander, but it is digging down the gel and not doing smooth over the nail. What can that be? I heard that beads are dull when they do that, but this is supposed to be an U-bead. Are those carbide beads? First of all, make sure you're working in the proper direction. Make sure you have enough power in your e-file. Make sure that the speed is the right. So I personally never purchased any products from him, but since he's Russian, I assume he's selling Russian beads, and usually they are pretty good. So I mean, maybe that exact bead is bad, but I mean, I don't think it should be the issue. But I do not know for sure. Honestly, I never tried them. You can also get a Medicool e-file. I agree. The confirmation mail is in Russian. When we get in English, Evie, I'm so sorry. So since we're a Russian company, sometimes this kind of things occur, but do not worry, everything, yes, will be in English. And sorry, for some reason, sometimes some words appear like that, but no, the entire class, confirmation emails and all the information, yes, it's in English. Okay, now let me quickly run through what's going on the YouTube. Okay, I need to refresh the page. I book classes. How intense is it? My nail tech course is 30 hours a week. Will I be able to catch up with everything, Claudia? So our classes can be at your own pace. So you have certain video lessons and you can watch them, you can binge watch them. You can watch them one a day, it's up to you. So you choose your own pace. The only thing that you cannot 100% control with the pace is assignments. So once you send the assignment to us, we will need some time to check it. So it might take a couple days, but then you proceed. So it's up to you. Like if you have time every day that you're able to finish this course pretty fast, like 2-3 weeks, I believe. But if you want to do it slower, that's up to you. What I only do not recommend doing, doing one lesson every month. Well, because that's too spread out. The entire class is 4 months, right? You just will not be able to finish on time. What if I have no previous education? Is it okay to start with this course, Janika? Okay, so this course includes everything you need to know about e-file. It does include few lessons with fills, which require you to have some product knowledge and be able to work whether with gel, acrylic, or polygel. These assignments are not like you can skip them if you want, but for graduation you will need to work with the products. So I think if you like do not know anything about nails at all, like you don't even know how to apply gel polish, I believe that, yeah, that may probably not work for you yet. But in this deal, we also have Manicure 101 and gel manicure. So basically, yeah, you can learn it first and then quickly take this class, but you will need to be fast. So yeah, actually, yeah, Manicure 101 and gel polish is for total beginners. So even though this new class will probably not work for you right away, if you take those first, then yeah. I just realized what a great deal we created. What's your favorite bit for cuticle prep? There's no such thing as favorite bit because it really depends on the cuticles. Well, the most common that I use is called flame bit. It's like the flame, the diamond ones. Also, the sphere bead is pretty good for trimming the cuticles. But once again, there's no perfect bead. You know, like there's no perfect man for everybody. We need to choose the one that's going to perfectly work for a certain cuticle and skin type. What power e-file is the proper e-file to get to use in a salon? Sandy is asking. At least 30 watts power and up. The one that I'm using, by the way, is 65. I believe that one is pretty powerful. I'm from Indonesia. Now it's time 2 a.m. Confused about live classes. Well, now it's the webinar and it's live, but we're about to get finished in a few minutes and you will be able to watch replay. But class, if you're talking about the class that you want to sign up, it's not like connected with the actual time because it's pre-recorded. You just click play whatever you feel like, 2 a.m., 2 p.m., whatever is your comfortable time, and watch it. Okay, so I have questions from the YouTube. How do you purchase the class? You need to click on the link in the description box that says Nails Pro Academy / some digits and letters. Click on it, then you'll get on our website and you need to register at the webinar, and under the video right now there will be a deal. We will leave it for a while this deal is still valid and we have some seats, and this is how you can join. Thank you, Rachel, and thank you guys so much for all your kind words. Thank you, Linda, for helping me out with the questions. You did a great job. And Andrea, thank you all for all of your comments. Like I said, I'm sorry if I missed some of your questions and if I didn't read every single comment. Honestly, I didn't expect that many. I believe we had over 300 people today. That's crazy. I'm super blessed and thankful that we have so many people who are interested in this topic. And this is my passion, guys. You can see it. I love doing nails. I love sharing things. I love e-file because I love everything that's, connected, like connects beauty and technology. And I believe this is one of those tools. And I'm super pumped to share it with you. So if you are signed up for this class, I will see you for the orientation class and the class itself. And if you are not signed up yet, that's fine. I also look forward to seeing you all on our social media as well as YouTube. Paul is asking, does the same person have to do extra courses offered like gel manicure, or can another staff member use this as I already got gel manicure qualification? Paul, unfortunately, this deal, is valid to the one person because once you purchase it, it will be in your profile, and like all the certificate will be issued on your name. Unfortunately, sorry about that. Like we do not have an option of shared access. Thank you. But I mean, even if you already have a qualification, if you don't want to take this class, maybe you can just view it. I believe there is still maybe some cool tricks and things you would like to learn. The courses have already well presented information, found it more be informative than any other online school, and I found things within the course I could not find in the University of YouTube's. Angie, thank you so much. Are you our current student? Uh, Thank you for the webinar. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. Do not forget about the hashtag eFile101. I look forward to all your stories and posts inspired by today's webinar. And we are on all of the social media. It's Nails Pro Academy. You cannot miss that. So please follow us on. We're everywhere. Like you can see, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. And my personal are quite similar, Nail Co, everywhere. So once again, thank you so much. And I so look forward to see you everywhere. Love your little light bulb moment, Linda. Thank you. Okay, guys, see you all. And remember, never stop learning. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.